Okay? Be a real one and speak truth. Stop worrying about conforming, because this dude thinks you're an idiot. So you're on his side. You're helping out his agenda, but he thinks you're an idiot. The truth must be kept secret. They lied to you about the shape of the earth, for example. So you're defending that heliocentric religion to your death. They're laughing at you. He thinks you're stupid. Okay? It's important. This isn't just some random dude. This is a pivotal character to Luciferian doctrine. Again, he wrote this book. All right, moving on. He's 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemasonic philosopher Albert Pike had written about the meaning of the square base of the great Egyptian pyramid. The Gnostics claimed that the whole edifice of their science rested on a square whose angles were silence, profundity, intelligence, and truth. Now, we talked about that's where this comes from. Okay, their metaphysical ideology, Luciferianism, stems all the way back to Egyptian mythology. Talked about this in an earlier stream, the Eye of Horus. Of course, it obviously predates Egypt, but that's important to understand. That's why we were lied to about Egyptian history and Egyptian archaeology, because they were, openly and efficiently utilizing the teachings of Lucifer and the fallen ones, and they don't want you to know that. So they told you the pyramids were built with pulley systems, 24/7 slave labor over 30 years. No, they were not. And that is not even a sufficient answer. How do you explain there's only 1/50th of an inch between the stones? They were brought from 500 miles away. You can't explain it. It's because they were more advanced. Why were they more advanced? Because of the light bearer and his little minions. Okay, so there's nothing new under the sun. It's a metaphysical war. If you think this sounds crazy, you, my friend, are plugged in the box. Okay, I did not come up with this stuff. I am telling you what it is. It's important to understand it. It's on the back of your freaking dollar bill. That means it has gone nowhere. They are connected directly to Egyptian mythology, and it predates Egyptian mythology. So again, the Gnostics claim the whole edifice of their science rested on a square. Okay, well, isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Of course, that's what that represents. Again, it's tied back to Egyptian mythology. This is undeniable, irrefutable. I've, with my own eyes, in person, seen a Masonic Bible, and in it is got nothing but references to Egyptian mythology all throughout it. That is their religion. It is Gnosticism. It's an esoteric belief system in which they do not think the average human is entitled or worthy of having the truth. That is the truth. Okay? And it doesn't matter what they have to say. And a lot of people will say, "Oh, this is gravity. This is Gnosticism." Okay? Gnosticism, the G does represent Gnosticism, but it also represents geometria. Geometria is the measurement of Earth. They know what the Earth is. Okay? And it's very simple, guys. And I don't want to talk about the Earth, this whole thing, because it's obvious. It's 2020. The globe is dead. Okay? So if you're holding on to your heliocentric religion, it is imploding. It doesn't really matter if you want to stay in the building. It's imploding. So it's going to fall in on you. It's undeniably not a globe. They know that. But I just in case you don't somehow, if the ancient civilizations were more advanced than you, and they were, undeniably, okay, they might not have had one of these. That doesn't mean anything. Electrographic propulsion. We can't even rebuild the pyramids. They have vases we can't even build because of the angle, right? The monolithic coming from one thing, the angles of the vase can't be replicated. If you gave someone $1 billion, the most advanced technology in any company that you can find on the earth, give them $1 billion, they cannot recreate the vases. They were more advanced. And so if they knew the earth was flat and everything was based on astrology, perceivable celestial bodies, maybe you should pump the brakes thinking that that they were primitive when we cannot even replicate them, and the people that run the world idolize them and they implement the same belief system. It is Lucifer, bro. That is what the eye is. And Lucifer is the light bearer. So This is all objective, and it's all about inversion. And they're telling you to your face what they do. And most of the people that you know, the everyday people that have that on their license plate, that have a little ring, that have a pin, they don't know most of this. They're peons. That's what the masters actually think of them. They are there to create the guise of it being an innocent, normal organization that gives charity, right? What better way to create the illusion of innocence than for most of the people to actually be innocent? They still know they do creepy things. You're still mock sacrificing people. I don't know how grown men dress up in little costumes, running around in the dark, doing mock sacrifices and think that's not weird, you know? But they do it for power and greed and money and pull, right? That's why they do it.
So the mysteries of the sun concern the system of sun worship, which is nothing other than the worship of Lucifer. You remember Ezekiel says in 8:16, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs towards the temple of the Lord and their faces towards the east, and they worshipped the sun towards the east. When you worship the sun, it is a very sophisticated form of worship, which is the worship of Osiris, and Osiris is a counterfeit Christ. So to the uninitiated eye, it might appear as if everybody is worshipping Jesus Christ, when in actual fact they are not, because they are not only breaking, but changing the commandments of God. And you cannot please God if you alter His law. You cannot. If you look at Egyptian worship, you will see this terapé of worship with the raised hands, the symbol of sun worship. And you'll see the red dot on top, the eye of Osiris. This is the sun god Horakti, who is also basically the same as Horus. And you can see the sun rays, the receiving of this Holy Spirit power, if you like. And the red dot over there, flanked by the eye of Osiris. Now, the legend is very similar to the virgin birth of Christ, because Satan counterfeits the birth of Christ. But we've dealt with the prophecy which says who the Messiah is, when the Messiah would come, so that nobody would be in any doubt. The 70-week prophecy. No wonder the higher critics freak when it comes to the book of Daniel. It was the religion of the ancient Indian populations in the Americas. It was the religion of the Indian populations in the East. It was the religion of all pagan cultures, in whatever form it was. And the king always represented the representation of the sun god. He was, in a sense, a divine incarnation of the sun god. So the high priest, or the god king, acted as such. Here's the throne of the Sri Lankan kings, and you will have the symbol of the sun on the back. The thrones of pharaohs had the symbols of sun worship. This was the only one that represented Aten, but the other thrones all represent Amun. Here was the Roman throne, which is found at the shrine of Mitra, and it also has the solar symbols and the lions, as you have in the others, the Babylonian lions on all of them. Isn't that fascinating? And these are continents apart, but that was the symbolism of the sun god.